In Iran on Monday, it was perhaps the first case of death penalty being used against a protester, defying international outcry. A 23-year-old man was executed in Iran on Monday in connection with the anti-government protests, but he has left instructions before his death that no one should mourn him or read Quran at his grave. Majidreza Rahnavard was hanged in public on Monday in the city of Mashhad. Rahnavard's execution took place 4 days after Mohsen Shekari, also aged 23, was executed on charges of wounding a member of the security forces. A video surfaced on Friday showed Rahnavard expressing what was probably his last wishes. In the video, Rahnavard, blindfolded and flanked by 2 masked guards, is seen speaking to the camera. "I don't want anyone to mourn upon my grave. I don't want them to read Quran or pray. Just celebrate and play celebrating music," read the translation supers. Daria Safai, member of the Belgium Parliament and a women's rights activist, tweeted, "Rahnavard was sentenced to death by a court for stabbing to death 2 members of the security forces and wounding 4 other people," the judiciary's Mizan online news agency reported. The director of Oslo-based group Iran Human Rights, Mahmoud Amiri Moghadam, said Rahnavard was sentenced to death based on coerced confessions after a short trial, reported news agency AFP. The public execution of a young protester 23 days after his arrest is another serious crime committed by the Islamic Republic's leaders, he was quoted as saying by AFP. The protest monitor social media channel 1500 Tasveer said his family had been informed of the execution only after it was carried out. It published pictures of a last meeting between the condemned man and his mother. While leaving her son, she had no idea he was about to die. The anti-government protests have shaken the regime for months. Iran government calls the protests riots and says they have been encouraged by its foreign force. The protests started 4 months ago after the custody death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, a Kurdish Iranian arrested by the morality police for allegedly breaching the Islamic Republic's strict dress code for women. The protests represent the biggest challenge to the regime since the Shah's ouster in 1979 and have been met with a crackdown that activists say aims to instill fear among the people. The executions invited a sharp criticism from Iran's arch foe, the United States. US State Department spokesman Ned Price said that the executions underscore how much the Iranian leadership actually fears its own people. News Desk, Kaumudy Global.